this Senate Standing Committee on Rules to order. We are going into Standing Committee first. Those of you new to rules, our Standing Committee is our normal committee that does normal things just like it's the normal committee process. So we do have 3 bills that we are going to hear today in Standing Committee. Actually, we're going to have 3 resolutions to be specific. First up, we have SR 23, Senator Cowser. This has been you've kind of been the champion of this issue over the last several years. So if you would like to cover SR 23, we're working off of LC 473209. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You're correct. This has been before our body and has passed the Senate several times in the last decade. It is a call for a constitutional amendment convention for one single purpose: to propose a constitutional amendment to limit the terms of office of members of the United States House of Representatives and the United States Senate. Does not apply to state government in any way. Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution provides 2 mechanisms, 2 methods to amend the United States Constitution. One is if both bodies of Congress, both the House and the Senate, by a 2/3 vote propose an amendment to the Constitution. It is then sent to the states for ratification and requires 3/4 of the states, or 38 of the states, to ratify it, to adopt it as part of the Constitution. The alternative method is when Congress will not act, is the states may call a convention to propose an amendment, and it takes 2/3 of the states. So 34 out of the 50 states would have to agree to have a constitution to work out the terms and language of the amendment, and then again it's presented to the states for ratification. Still requires 3/4. I think it goes without saying that the members of the United States Congress are unlikely to limit their own terms of office. They have not done it so far. We are faced with a very dysfunctional Congress, and that's part of the reason, is the embedded nature of those positions and the length of terms, many of them now serving to where they are physically and mentally unable even to serve to an extent. But it is an ingrained system. Over 95% of incumbents are reelected. It is very difficult to unseat one, and this would bring some balance and functionality back to the United States Congress.
All right, pretty cut and dry. Are there any questions? Do you have a question? Senator again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You said that some of them get to the point where they're not mentally able to do it. Some of them may have started that way.
That is very true. There's one of them from Texas that's apparently in a senior living facility with dementia. So now they hadn't appeared in Congress for several months.
They say your first 6 months in Congress, you pinching yourself, just wondering how you got there, and then after about 6 months, you start looking around and figure, how in the world did anybody else get here?
That's true.
Is that true?
That's true even in the state House and Senate.
Yeah, same here, buddy.
Well, I wasn't going to say that about you, Senator Beach, but I often think it. But you know, the people of your district are special people too and deserve to be represented by a special person.
They love me.
They do love you. They love us all today. Well, I'll say this on term limits, because this is one part that often doesn't get discussed. My only fear with term limits is you are now shifting, or you could indirectly shift institutional knowledge, therefore power, from an elected official to your bureaucrats and to your lobbyists. That is my one fear of term limits, and one of the reasons I have hesitated to sign on to that legislation, although I think I did this year. So you have done a great job of convincing me through the years, and maybe it is time. So at this moment, what is
the,
Senator Beach, you got a question?
I'm going to support this, Senator because I think, you know, they've got full staffs, they get up there, it's different. I tell you what really we should think about doing is the Founding Fathers, and when we started Congress, in the beginning, it was a part-time Congress, just like we're a part-time legislature. And if you're a part-time Congress, you'd have a lot of turnover just because the same with us. I looked at my first panoramic picture, 45 people are gone. They've either retired, run for office, or something's happened. So you have natural turnover in a part-time legislature. We ought to really look at Congress going back to a part-time legislature and not make it a full-time job. That's just a thought.
That was the original intent. I checked with the Secretary of the Senate, and our average length of service in the state Senate is somewhere just over 8 years. So we self-select out either by being voted out or running for higher office or going back to our real lives. So we're much more in keeping with the intent of the Founding Fathers.
Maybe we should just send Senator Beach to Congress,
Part-time?
and then their turnover ratio might go up. All right, any other further discussion or questions for the author of this fine resolution? All right, what is the will of the committee? I got a motion from Senator Albers, do pass. I got a second from Senator Dolezal. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. I got 3 opposed. Got them?
Yep.
Motion passes. On to Rules Committee. So we'll see that again. All right, next up, we got SR 95, Senator Dolezal, working off of LC 339768.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What Senate Resolution 95 would do is, you've all probably seen the new building that's being built across the street, and it would name the legislative office complex that is currently under construction after Sonny Perdue. Many of us know Chancellor Perdue, and many of us may not know that he started his career in 1991, his political career in 1991, right here in the Georgia Senate. Served until 2002. Served as Georgia's 81st governor from 2003 to 2011. After that, he served as America, the United States' 31st Secretary of Agriculture from 2017 to 2021, and shortly after that was appointed by the Board of Regents, confirmed by the Board of Regents as the current Chancellor of the university system. One thing I did not know about Chancellor Perdue is that in 2018, he was the designated survivor during President Trump's State of the Union speech. And thankfully, he was not needed in his service as the designated survivor. But born in Perry, Georgia, was a quarterback at the Warner Robins High School. He was a walk-on at UGA. Got married to Mary in 1972. They have 4 children, 14 grandchildren, and are multiple-time foster parents. Mr. Chairman, when the time is right, I would offer a friendly amendment. I think that we can all agree that that one SPLC is enough, and we do not need a second SPLC. So I'm going to propose that we change center to building, so that we have the SPLB. Across the street. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, I'll add, they're building a building, and centers are typically in the center, and that one's on the corner, so.
Indeed. Indeed.
So building would probably be more appropriate. Are there any questions for the author of this fine resolution?
I would like to point out as well, Mr. Chairman, this has bipartisan support, and some of the members of the Senate who served with then Senator Perdue joined us on this legislation, so we'd like to recognize them from both sides of the aisle. Correct.
Well, and Chancellor Perdue was bipartisan in nature.
Started his career as a Democrat, that's right.
In his career, started as a Democrat and ended as a Republican. And he moved in the right direction, quote unquote. All right, what is the will of the committee? I got a motion do pass from Senator Robertson. I got a second from Senator Ginn. Senator Dolezal, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to amend the resolution on lines 2 and 28, replacing the word center with building.
Okay, I've got a motion that on line 2, we will strike through center, adding the word building. And then on line, what was that other line?
28.
Oh, back a page. Line 28, same thing, striking the word center, adding the word building. I've got a second on your amendment from Senator Albers, or a motion. No, you made the motion. Senator, second from Albers, I'm sorry. Still getting caught up on the day. All in favor of that amendment, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, amendment passes unanimous. All right, now we got a motion on the floor for Senate Resolution 95 as amended. I've got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimous. On the rules. All right, next up, we got SR 96 from Senator Dixon, working off of LC 1122806.
Thank you, Mr.
Senator
Chairman,
Dixon.
bringing this very important Senate Resolution 96 before you. It commends the benefits and the contributions of purebred dogs and designates May 1st as Purebred Dog Day.
Who brought you this?
A constituent.
Okay,
It got passed on to me somehow from Mullis to me. I'm not really sure.
that sounds about right. Okay, no more questions. All right, any questions about Purebred Dog Day? Senator Cowser? All right,
On behalf of my two purebreds, Cabby and Rosie, I would move do pass.
you want to change the name to Gabby
Cabernet
Rosie Bill?
Blue, Calcert Bill, yeah.
All right, I've got a motion from Senator Calzert. Do I have a second? Second from the President Pro Tem.
Your dog's name?
Senator Dixon, were there any changes or amendments you needed on this? What were we doing? I'm in delay mode.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
It's an amendment on line 2, and then flip it over to the back.
State Capitol.
Yes, do the same thing.
What would he do without me?
While we're waiting, could we discuss who let the dogs out?
No.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, we do have an amendment that needs to be made to this.
All right, let's discuss it and then go for the motion there. What amendment do you need?
We
Would you
need to
like?
change in line 2, state of Georgia to the capital. If we leave it as Georgia, then we would have to get the House involved as well. I'd like to keep this as a Senate
Oh, we
resolution.
know how that can go.
Can't we get them involved?
All right.
They don't have anything else to do.
So state your, here we go. That's not it. All right, so state your, what do you need amended? We're changing on line,
2.
Two.
Line 2, where it says state of Georgia, we need to say state capital.
all right, so we're gonna strike of Georgia
Line 25,
and add capital.
line 25.
And then again on line 25, we're gonna strike of Georgia and add capital. Would that accomplish what you needed it to do?
It would, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right. We would need a motion for that amendment.
So moved.
I got a motion from Chairman Dolezal.
Second on behalf of Charlie and Wilhelmina, my dogs.
We got a second on behalf of Charlie and Wilhelmina. Is that not Blue Mina? Wilhelmina. All right, let's, I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Senator Rhett.
How do you determine if a dog is purebred? Because the minority leader here has 2 dogs, Pookie and Go-Go, that he said are purebred. but I don't think they are.
Senator Dixon, you're our expert here. Could you
I don't know if
chime
I
in
call
on
myself
that?
But I'd say, it was your minority leader? I'd say you
Yes,
might
right
want to
here.
agree with him.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, amendment passes unanimous. All right, we've got a motion, do pass as amended for Senate Resolution 96. All in favor? Pro Tem. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimous. All right, on the rules. All right, we're going to gavel out of standing rules, and we're going to gavel into our rules consent calendar. And I am going to allow Chairwoman Kirkpatrick, who has been waiting patiently, to go ahead and present briefly SB 5 and SB 6. If you would go to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You probably recognize Senate Bill 5. It was last year Senate Bill 307, and it is commonly known as gold card legislation. It creates a fast track for providers who get approved for insurance prior authorization almost all the time. Everyone's in agreement on it, and hopefully nothing will get stuck on it this year and cause drama. So it should be pretty straightforward. Happy to answer any questions on that one.
Any questions? No questions. All right.
Okay, Senate Bill 6 has to do with a bill that we passed couple years ago about fentanyl test strips. And what we've realized that there are now other street drugs that are popping up, and there are test strips and other testing that's available for those drugs too. So this simply broadens it to accommodate testing equipment for other drugs that we don't even know are on the street yet.
Any questions? No questions. You did
Thank you
such
so
a great
much.
job. All right. Senate Bill 24. Is that Senator Burns? Is he here? All right. Oh, there you are. Would you like to present your Senate Bill 24, Mr. Chairman? Yeah, I know. Why are you sitting back there? You are somebody in here. You mean
Thank you,
something to
Mr.
us.
Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, Senate Bill 24 is a bill that we brought to the Senate last year. It was adopted. What it allows us to do is, by local ordinance, historical property that needs revitalization, this bill would allow but not require that jurisdiction to extend the tax freeze on that property. So if I had a property in downtown historic district, designated appropriately, instead of being limited to an 8-year tax freeze, you could extend it up to 20 by local legislation. It does not impact the revenue of the state of Georgia. Certainly would impact the local revenue, but that is their decision in order to enhance the value of their community. So I would ask that the committee favorably approve the Senate Bill 24. Happy to discuss any questions.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, going back, got a member of the committee with a bill, so I'm putting him last. SB 1, Senator Dolezal.
Thanks, President. Senate Bill 1 is the Fair and Safe Athletic Opportunities Act. We establish 3 categories of sport for K through 12 and collegiate athletes in this bill: male, female, and co-ed. We restrict participation in the sports based on biological sex, which is defined in the bill, with the exception that if there is a male sport that does not have a counterpart female sport, the female may participate on the male team.
Okay, pretty cut and dry. Any questions? All right. Let's pick a calendar for tomorrow. We've been so slow here lately. I think it's time we get the Senate to work. just kind of remind y'all of procedures here on how we operate. And I know we got a new member here, or new members. So I've got kind of the order here, and I just go down and let you guys pick from what's available. What's available is on the yellow sheet, and I'll kind of let us know ahead of time about how many bills we're going to put on the floor tomorrow. And occasionally we will come across a bill that I would like to be on the floor the next day, and should you pick that bill, you get rewarded with another pick at a later date. So if you happen to pick something that does need to be on the floor, or I deem it necessary to be on the floor the next day, then you would get another pick, and in doing so, you get a little ding. So, with that being said, let's do one bill tomorrow, and I'm going to let the pro tem start us off.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nice to be back in the groove of your committee doing the good work, and I think it's entirely fitting and proper that for tomorrow, given the work that this Senate and this caucus has done on fairness to children in sports and girls in sports, that seems entirely fitting. We ought to have SB 1 on the floor tomorrow, and then also an acknowledgement and thanks to Senator Dolezal for his leadership on this issue that didn't just start this year.
Okay. We got SB 1, and that's
All right.
so doing that tomorrow. We know the president has signed or is signing today an executive order that lines up with this legislation as well. So that's why we're doing it tomorrow. So with that, we have SB 1 for the calendar tomorrow. What is the will of the committee?
Do pass.
I got a motion do pass from Senator Anderson. I got a second from Senator Beach. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Got 3 noes. Okay. All right, motion passes. We will have a bill on the floor tomorrow. We will be meeting rules again tomorrow as well, so we'll plan on getting back into the regular routine here. And committee chairs, I know most of our committee chairs are on this committee. Let's get our process going, and please, I'll reemphasize this throughout the year, especially leading into crossover day. If it's a department bill, please get them moving quickly. And if it's a bad bill, you don't have to send it here. You can keep it where it is. So, with that being said, we will adjourn for the day. Thank you, Hammer.